hello. Thank you so much for coming to the Sashiko Live Streaming. This is Atsushi. Just give me a moment. I am in the panicking mode right now. Just give me a moment. I think the microphone is on. And I think I am on too. Just give me one more. I think everything is good. All right. Thank you so much for coming to the Sashiko Live Streaming. This is Atsushi. So this is the live streaming where I stitch Sashiko while talking about Sashiko Stories. This is not a lecture, this is not a webinar, this is not a tutorial. So if you have any questions about techniques or how to do it, please check my YouTube channels. There are already tutorials, and you will probably find the answers for that. If you don't, and if you have any specific technical questions, please take my workshop, online workshop or in-person workshop. I would like to make this live streaming more like a space or time for us to stitch together or talk together. If you have any questions about Sashiko culture, you may leave the comment and I will try to pick up that. Any questions would be actually appreciated, because if I have a topic to talk about, theme to talk about, that's much easier for me to keep going. That being said, any tour? I do have a workshop in New York City coming August, the first weekend of August. And the link is described on the link is on the description. So if you are around New York and interested in taking the workshop, please take a look at that. And also the Japan tour is full at this moment. So if you are interested in Japan tour, please fill out the waiting list. It will help me to offer it again in the future. I think that's about it. Let's start stitching. Oh, I will repeat that at the end of the live streaming, but if you could click the good buttons, like button, it will help me to maintain the health of this channel. I really don't understand, but I got one trolls coming here and there. Okay, I will change the screen. There we go. Oh, let me just check the audio first. Do you hear me? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I brought a topic that what if I focus on just fun? And there's a reason that I brought this topic, so I will talk about it while stitching. I don't know if the live is on. I don't know if the thunderstorm affected or not, but it is quite weird today. It's not. It keeps saying that this live streaming is cut it off or disconnected, and I don't know why. Okay. Everything is good. Everything is good. That's good. As long as everything is good on your side, that's good. I didn't have much time to stitch this week. It's gonna correlate. If I post if I make a post on the Instagram, if I make a writing on the Instagram, that means that I'm not stitching. If I am very quiet, that means I'm stitching. So it has become quite obvious, I guess. Oh my god, it's sweaty. So the reason I came up with this topic is that I occasionally, not all the time, but I occasionally receive the question saying that, why don't you just have fun? And I understand that. I kind of understand the kind of question. And I started this live streaming that way when I was doing it on the Instagram, or even the beginning of this YouTube live streaming. I was only focusing on the fun part. And it was kind of difficult though for me to keep going. And it is good to just have fun. At the same time, there are reasons that I do not only focus on the fun. I wish I could. But today's theme is what would happen if I only focus on the fun part of Sashiko on the live streaming. Sakura is running around. God, it's so hot here today. Just okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna just Sakura. Let me know if the some noise is on. I just put the dehumidifier. It is just too moist today. It is too humid today. Hello, Shinobu-san. Just let me check the audio. Check. That'd be good. Okay. Thank you, Tai, for confirming that. So something's going upstairs. What do I think? What do I consider the fun part of Sashiko? Do you think you include enough of it? I don't know. That's a very good question. The question is how I define the fun part of Sashiko. I think I do include that already when I define the fun part of Sashiko as the running stitch. But to be honest, I have never even thought about it because I was just doing it for fun. And I think I'm doing it for fun. But that's the kind of comment that I receive. Why don't you just focus on fun part of Sashiko or fun of Sashiko? And I sometimes listen back to my live streaming, and yes, I have to admit that I talk something serious at some point. So for those who wish to learn what Sashiko is, probably my history, my talk about history or my talk behind this scene would be, fun thing to hear. At the same time, Sue is right. I don't know what they define as fun. Like joke? No, it cannot be like a joke. fun part of, I think the question I was about to bring is that how can I make this live streaming more fun if that's what they're asking? And in this context, you may say that those are not going to be watching this, so why do you care about those? Well, I should not care about those people, but at the same time, I'm quite. I care. I care how I'm presenting what I can, and it's great if it's more fun. It is my intention to make it more interesting. Yeah, that's a good question. I am sharing the most fun part of Sashiko, which is the running stage. And technically speaking, for that, I guess it is perfectly fine if I do not even talk for that context, because that's something we enjoy, stitching together. And sorry, just a second, okay. I have been doing a lot of things weird. Should be okay. Sorry about that. I guess what I tried to explain here today is that I probably don't know what they are expecting. And Sue's question is very good. What is the fun part of Sashiko? And am I sharing that on live streaming? I think I am. But there was another angle to think about it. And I had a lecture, or like a closed circle lecture. I had a lecture to the closed group last week. And while I was talking, one organizer told me that what I talked inspired her thinking that spreading Sashiko can affect the mindset of today's world. And I feel the same way, but I do not push that as much because I don't want to say that Sashiko can heal other people or mentally or even spiritually. So it is probably helpful for somebody to feel better by doing Sashiko. And it can be sometimes psychologically, mentally, or even spiritually. At the same time, that's not something I would like to sort of push as the kind of benefit of doing Sashiko. I only asked because you say you were going to talk about fun. I was. But my theme was more like, what if I focus on just fun? Yeah. I don't know what is fun. It is fun already, but that's not the fun. Let's go around it. What if I don't want to do show and tell much, but just focusing on show and tell? Like, look at this color, it's beautiful. What do you think? Do you like it? No, that's not my style, but I think that's what they're expecting. It's so minority that you are you are really the minority. My mic is cutting off. Check. I think it's good on my end. If let me know if it's not doing. It is very weird today. The setting itself is really weird. I'm sorry. Let me know if you keep going. I think on my end it's okay. So if let me know if it's keep going, cutting off. Let me rephrase it. Like I think I should probably rephrase the question of theme. As much as I understand that it's very difficult or even impossible to deliver the message to those who do not want to listen to, that's something we confirmed. Last week, last few weeks, last few months, I have been talking about how difficult it is to deliver the message, and I became the glitch. I'm no longer, I wasn't even the one to begin with, but I just realized that I am not the mainstream of that. So how can I deliver the message to that group or target? I don't even, probably I don't have to do that. I don't even have to think about it. At the same time, I keep receiving those comments that why don't you just have fun? It's not so often, but I just don't understand what fun is. I think it's the reason is this here. I turn off the dehumidifier, so it may improve the mic. Mm-hmm. Mm. Sound is good for me. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I think I'm kind of tired of that. I am doing the live streaming for a few reasons, and one of the biggest reason is that I have a community here. I would like to have 1 hour of every week to stitch together. So it is already completed. At the same time, like a second reason is to somewhat deliver the message. And it sometimes work well. It's not waste of energy because out of 1 out of 100, I meet somebody very caring and they care to listen to. So without live streaming, I wouldn't have had this much community back right now. So I am not saying that I'm tired of doing the live streaming. At the same time, those comments, those like feedback keep reminding me that what I offer is not what they want. And tell them in real life you're fun, but on Instagram you like to be provocative, or even a little argumentative. It is completely different if I can talk to them. Like, it doesn't have to be in person, to be honest. As long as I can talk to them in person, I don't have to be, that difficult. But on the internet, even live streaming, I think I have to be a little bit protective to myself. And Sue said that a provocative or also argumentative. It is so. At the same time, it's more like protective of what I do and what I have received, because there is no space for me to joke around. And I used to, in Japanese, I try to make it more jokes, but for some reason, joke is not taken in a great way when they are not ready to listen to that. So I can probably shift this live streaming to purely the educational channel, which requires a lot of preparation, so I don't know if I can do that. It might be just talking. Or if I focus on just making a joke, that's one way to go. Like, as many jokes as possible about Sashiko, and that's the only things I can do here. So I think what I'm trying to do right now is to set up the theme for this live streaming a little more clearly, because I knew that just talking out of my brain is not gonna do well. It's gonna do well when I'm lucky, but in most cases, it's kind of waste of, I don't want to say waste of energy, because I will find somebody, but it's very, very, very inefficient. So what is gonna be I bring the theme, but that's more like what happened in that week or previous week or something I can think of that mind. So I have a theme. Like, this is the Sashiko Story channel where I talk about Sashiko while doing Sashiko stitching, and that's about it. And I'm thinking. I don't know if I can. I'm thinking to add more like a sub-dimensional direction where I would like to go. I can talk about the Japanese word in Sashiko, and that's more like educational channels. And I don't know what fun is, but I can try to collect the funny stories and because if I want to go to negative, I can go negative almost forever. There's so many things that I can complain. And I sometimes feel like it should go that way, but I do not want to. I sometimes spill, it's bleed out, and then I sometimes spend a whole live streaming on that. It's for myself, it's for me. I need to kind of detox of everyday's kind of stupidities. But I don't want to make that as the main theme of this live streaming, which it is kind of becoming that, which kind of is okay if that's the theme and that's more intentional. I'm repeating what I've heard you say. I don't mean that it is my own opinion of your behavior. I am. I'm not denying that I am. I'm very much trying to be difficult on the Instagram or YouTube for that matter. Like wherever I speak up to the mass unknown, I kind of cut all the vagueness out of it. And my joke, I mean, I don't really make joke for the purpose of making joke, but my joke include a lot of implying, and that can cause a lot of misunderstanding, and that's not what I feel comfortable doing that out when I don't know who I'm talking to. In person or face to face or even Zoom conversation, Zoom gathering, that's a completely different story. Mm. It's just a little bit of turning point. It's the turning point of what I do. I'm not gonna change anything radically. I'm not gonna stop doing it. But I realized it's kind of slow realization, but I realized that the fact that I realized I was the glitch is quite major discovery because for some reason I thought that just talking about it will somewhat achieve my dream, and it will. I'm not saying it does not, but I thought that that was the optimal way to achieve my goal, sharing, right? So by me sharing the stories, it may reach to some of those people who wish to listen. As the result, the Sashiko may be preserved as we practice. That was more like a naive belief a few years ago. Now I came to the conclusion that it's not going to happen. So sharing is good, but not excellent. I will keep sharing, but I think I am standing a point where I may need some turning. And because I receive not a lot of, I receive fairly good amount of comment that I should just focus on fun, which Sue is right. I don't know what fun is, but let's see. Gosh, it's so hot here today. I probably should watch other people's live streaming so that I can get a hint. Is there anybody who is doing like a crafting, showing their hands while they're making and doing the live streaming? I probably can learn from them. K32? K32, thank you. I will Google that. What does he do? What does she do? YouTube. Mm. Nope, I cannot find it. Chloe, I found her, but she doesn't do the live streaming, right? I cannot find the live streaming. Oh, this might be the live streaming from something else. So she probably did the live streaming somewhere else and then record it, and then I couldn't find her live streaming record though. I can see only the video archives for that actually. Thank you. I will take a look. She chat with her while she works on the project. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, like talking and doing the project itself is not that difficult. And it's pleasant to sew along with her. That's probably what I'm kind of aiming at it. Probably just to make this time to make it, as I said, it's my own word, but to make this 1 hour as the time to stitch together, that might be good enough, I guess, I don't even have to bring the topic to talk about. Some random things. And that might answer the question of Sue's. That might answer the question from Sue. That's the probably fun part of it, right? Just keep stitching and talking about it. Think out loud. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that. Nope. Well, I can try, but you don't want to hear that. I probably told you. I probably shared this information, but I learned English by two TV series. One is the South Park, and the second one is The Office. So Michael Scott and then Cartman is my English teacher. So when I don't think, like if I think out loud, if I don't filter what I say, it's gonna be chaotic. I don't filter what I say when I talk in person. As the result, I might be funny. I really don't like. It is quite scary to leave my own word anywhere on the internet without the context, because people get angry at some point, like for no reasons. And if I were in person, if I were, talking each other, I can explain. And I can ask them to not to use that part. But speaking out of my mind without thinking out loud can be quite scary. It's little scary. But if some of the followers that I have think that I'm like a clean, soft, like a monk, nice trained monk without any desires, then that's wrong. Yeah, I don't have much desire anymore left, but when it comes to protecting something that I like, I am going. I don't let things go easily. Well, Sashiko is kind of difficult itself to let things go. So, and there's actually a big reason. I think I'm speaking out of my mind right now. That's good. There's a big reason that I am more angry recently in comparison to the time I was just sharing this story, like 2017 to 2018. I was sharing this story, and I wouldn't got this angry back then because it was purely about me and my history, my family, my artisans, but it was within the within within my memory, within myself. So no matter what they say, it was not really like good for you was my my reply to them. But after 6, 7 years of doing this, I got a quite many friends, and they value what I say, they value what I do, and those in Japan, they are sort of trusting me to pass down this culture. They sometimes say they are sorry for me putting on the stage by myself because they don't speak English. And they wish they could do that, or they even say that they should have done that. They should have done what I have doing right now because they're quite elderly. They are my mom's age, a little younger than that probably. So because of those, you know, not less than 100 people in my mind, including both non-Japanese and Japanese, of course, including Americans. When they say something, when they disrespect what I do, what I say, I feel like that they are disrespecting my friend as well, and that makes me quite angry. So I'm not gonna let things go when that goes to somebody I really, really like to protect. And when it's kind of when they talk about like Japanese as the big group, I even feel that like they disrespected that big group, and as a result, I can get quite argumentative, I guess. Hmm. I really appreciate that comment. Yes, I will try. I will try to think out loud then. That might be it. Well, then I am going back to the previous live streaming. I was thinking out of my brain with filters. Now I will kind of let my filters go a little bit more and then like remove 1 or 2 filters. So I will talk out of my mind. It's there was a comment like it was a really shocking comment a few years ago. Back then I didn't I was even apologizing for being angry on my Instagram, and I to that angry post, one comment said that, how can you do Sashiko while being angry? You're supposed to calm yourself down before doing Sashiko. And I think that that person was associating Sashiko with Zen or something. And that is completely wrong. interpretation of what we do. One can be calm. One can get calmed down by doing it. But being calm before doing Sashiko is one extreme form of romanticizing it. Fantasizing it, romanticizing it. I even laughed at it, but he was, I don't remember, it was she or he. I think the person was serious. I think it was he. He was very, very thinking that it was like, I think in his mind, I was supposed to meditate first and then probably bow into the fabric, worship needles and thimble. No. That's really wrong way to appreciate the culture. I mean, I keep saying that needles and thimbles are friends and families. Yes, it's true. It has more like spirit in it. We believe in animism, so it is true. At the same time, they're just friends and family. We don't worship them. If you start worshiping them, that is quite bad. No way. But that's no. Be calm first is silly. It's not even the same meditation. You can meditate when you're angry. The anger can even be the meditation object. See, that's how kind of twisted what Sashiko is. It's really romanticized. Let's do Sashiko to be zen or to enjoy wabi-sabi is very, very, very insufficient. It can. It's not completely wrong. That's the whole point. If it's wrong, I can say it's wrong. It's not wrong completely, but it's not. If they research even a little bit, they will understand it, but I think they don't. There's so many weird people out there. And I thought that those people are minorities, but they were not. So, you know, it is very unfortunate. It is very unfortunate, but it's kind of fun though. I used to care. I used to be shocked. I used to spend a day worrying about it, or even, thinking what I have done, what I could have done better. I am getting stronger on that kind of things. To me, that's already like a cult, and I do not really want to make such cult. Well, but after all, I think what the people, those majority of people are looking for is the cult. I mean, no, the cult, not the cult itself, but the kind of sensation of the cult. Because they want to just believe what they want to believe in, and that's quite the principle of cult. It does not matter what it is. It's just what they want to believe is the truth. So for them, Sashiko is the meditation. Sashiko can be the meditation, but Sashiko is not the meditation. It's like, where is the purpose? Where is the object? Is the very, very big question to ask. So that's why I kind of have to be very, very careful about it, because I sometimes touch that field. There's a good saying that I think it's a good saying, but there's a saying that mending fabric is mending yourself. And that is it is true as the result. By mending the fabric or something important from your family, it can mend a lot of things, including the psychological burden. I wouldn't say even psychological issue, it's more like a psychological burden or even memories that's not cleared. So it is true. And I think we have this practice to follow to those. Like I do meditation every day, and that's a side of the Sashiko. That's what I do as the lifelong thing too. So I can introduce that as well, but the more we learn what Zen is, or what Wabi-sabi is, or what the word means, then those words cannot be combined so easily without understanding what it is. Because combining those two words is the sign of simplification or even misleading it. If they can explain both words, that's fantastic. But if they cannot, then they shouldn't mix those two words. I think it's okay to use one word each without understanding it. But mixing them is very scary. I don't know if there's anything like called wabi-sabi sashiko. If you find that, please let me know. That's two words that it can mislead a lot of people. It's like a healthy Diet Coke. Or healthy pizza can make sense, right? Pizza can be healthy. But Diet Coke cannot be healthy. And Sashiko cannot. Sashiko may. As the result, Sashiko may be wabi-sabi, but let me. When they mix wabi-sabi and Sashiko, they think that Sashiko comes after wabi-sabi. Sashiko comes before wabi-sabi, so it cannot be mixed. No, I think I'm saying okay, it cannot be mixed. It's very contradictive. The example is not probably accurate, but I have not seen those mix yet. Some people may do it, but well, because of this connection, because of this kind of taboo in connection of Sashiko and wabi-sabi, I do really not like the phrase of embracing the imperfection, because I think that that's embracing the imperfection as another word of wabi-sabi, which is kind of wrong in this context. It is the issue of interpretation of Japanese word got translated and then again interpreted in the translated language. So there are three filters: interpretation and then translation and then interpretation. Because of those three steps, it got pretty twisted. It's not again wrong, it's just really twisted. And that's why I really don't like people who teach Sashiko to embrace the imperfection, because it's not. We end up with embracing it, but it's not the purpose. It's not the first thing we do. We end up with doing that, and that's perfectly fine. But if we set it as the goal, then it becomes a completely different thing. It's more smooth. Thank you. So my live streaming is like that. Again, it's gonna go back to the regular live streaming, thinking out loud. Thank you. Thank you. I will, of course, put the filters on, but Nothing will be different. So I don't know what fun is. Today's theme is how can I make this live streaming? Like, what if I make this live streaming fun? It can be funny, it can be like laughing. I don't know what I meant by that. Sue's question is quite on the top like it's right on the topic. I don't know what fun is in Sashiko, and I think I am sharing the fun part of Sashiko. I think I was talking about the fun of this as live streaming. And today's conclusion is that I will speak out of my brain. If I don't filter my brain, I will use a lot of like bad word, I guess. I think there's nothing wrong with using those bad words, but for some reason I try not to do that. I don't know why. I do it a lot in real. Well, I don't do that in front of the student though. That's a good point. I do that with my wife a lot though. I think speaking your mind also makes things a lot easier for the people watching to interact with. It may not feel as stressed to talking for some. Okay, that's a good point. So I will, well then, nothing will be different. I have been doing that and I will be doing that. Talking out of my brain. So I really appreciate the comment. The comment is going to make this live streaming more easier for me to handle. Less stressful to me too. It's kind of, unrealistic to come up with the topics every week. At the same time, without the topic, I felt that it's kind of, I wouldn't say failure, but something difficult. But at the same time, talking out of my mind is speaking my mind is a good way to do that. But maybe filter out your inner Cartman. Cartman is funny and says what we all wish we had the nerve to say, but he is a jerk. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So I cannot. There should be some, some manners. He's funny because he's saying something we shouldn't be saying. So that can be a joke. That's the joke that, it's kind of the fundamental of comedy. I don't want to say fundamental. That's a one way to make people laugh. But that can be a lot of issues. I understand that. So. One hour is like the light. I didn't stitch a lot this one. So did you see? I don't know if you have seen that Instagram photo, but I have been. I have shared the previous project of this 4 lines meeting together. I don't have to show that. I'm sorry. I don't have a way to share that. If you could check that on Instagram photos, you will find which side is the right side and the wrong side. Because I have a tendency, it's more like my natural rhythm tendency to make the right side bigger stitches and the wrong side you're looking at makes smaller stitches. So this side has a smaller stitches than this side. And there's a lot of stories about these rules. Some communities say that the front has to have a bigger stitches, and the wrong side should have smaller stitches. I think it's best when you work on the denim or something you cover your wrong side. It's probably look good if you have a bigger stitches on the right side, like ratio wise, not the size wise, ratio wise. But at the same times, those project which requires both sides as the finished side, it is good to have both sides as the same size, like this side and this side. So kind of similar, right? Not identically the same. So the second one, I changed the order of the color. It's same idea, same process. I just changed the color order. This time I changed the rhythm here to have both sides the same stitches size. I don't have to worry about the size by itself, but I have to keep reminding me that I am writing something different. So it's like for this one, I'm riding like a mountain bike rather than this one is like, commuter bicycle. So this one I might not be able to do that on the live streaming because that requires a little bit of the different rhythm that I don't do often. But if I can, I might try one day, but not today. So that's what's going on today. Not today, well, recently, just doing this and that. But ideally, the stitches are supposed to be 50-50 when what we work on the project where both sides has the finished side. Okay. I appreciate you coming to the live streaming. It's about 1 hour. So I will wrap it up. I've just started Unshin on the Furoshiki fabric, but I am already addicted to it. welcome to this addiction. Unshin is very fun. I have great time every weekend. Thank you for inviting me to this. Yeah, it is quite fun. It's pretty good. Okay, I hope you have a good night on Thursday night, and I can do that next week. I hope to see you next week, and I will bring no topic to next week, and I will talk out of my brain. All right, have a good day. Have a good night. Bye bye.